Highness Dr. Ambassador Enetu, Igbo has got a very rich culture that must be encouraged. He believes the past and present leaders from Igbo as a nation from the Nigerian state deserves more. The father of all projects on his mind is the establishment of the first Igbo town in Ghana and of course the first in the world.
If you look around the world, apart from in Virginia, they have Igbo village in Virginia. They created it by putting the antiques, the antiquities of Igbo there. You can come there, kind of archive of Igbo. But I'm creating Igbo village, which has never happened in the history of the world among the Igbos in the world. As I'm talking to you, I've acquired 50 acres of land, that is 250 plus of land, along the Flower Road, that is at Old Ningo area. But along that road, it's right on the road. I acquired 250 plus of land. My reason of acquiring this land is to build Igbo village in Ghana. I call it Amandi Igbo in Ghana.
But he's right if he says that Igbos are entrepreneurial. And I end by what people say about Igbos. That if you enter a community, a village, you don't see an Igbo man there, please pack your things and go. It means that place is not conducive. However, let me give the flip side. Chief Tos Benson, T.O.S. Benson, former Minister of Information, now late, on one occasion at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, and I'm not making this up, he said it publicly. If anybody can contradict me, let them do so. He said something about Igbo people. He said he had an Igbo wife and had an Igbo daughter, that he wanted to buy land in Igbo land for his daughter, for his wife, to say, I'm getting old. Tos Benson is getting old. Let me build in this place for my wife. He said that his in-laws told him that they don't sell land to outsiders. That is the irony of Nigeria about the politics of federation, of unity. The same Igbos who are so industrious that they are all over and they do well in other parts of Nigeria. You go as a non-Igbo man to go and buy a land. You will be told that you don't belong, even as an in-law. That's by way of an aside. But these are the issues, in my view.
Well, I wanted to just touch more on the issues in the Southeast. Yesterday, Dr. Abati, we took this story, and there was a flurry of reactions about whether or not the Igbo people sell land to outsiders. I don't know if you would like to address that, because there were a lot of, people from the Southeast saying that it is not true.
No, I have no further comments on that subject.
Okay.
I was very clear yesterday. I was very specific. I made my point. I provided the context in which I was speaking. If people have a selective hearing, that is their problem.
Well, one of the comments is that you cannot paint a whole tribe with one brush. And they have debunked
Replay the tape again. Well, replay the tape.
No,
I was specific about what I said. I provided context.
Right.
Nobody should tell me any nonsense.
Well,
if people have a different opinion, they are entitled. No, that's no nonsense duty.
I think it's our duty.
If people have a different opinion, they have anthropological evidence to support it. They should say so.
Well,
it's not for me to reverse myself.
No. I was just saying to clarify.
Except you are expressing your own opinion.
No.
And then I will come after you and say you are wrong.
There's been a flurry of reactions.
Yes.
And I have to present
that
it. It
comes
is my
with
duty.
the job. That comes with the job.
It is my duty.
It's a free country.
It is my duty to present the reactions of the Nigerian people.
And not to come and challenge me.
Absolutely not. I asked you if you would like to comment. I asked if you would like to comment.
I've told you.
Well, the conversation is that a whole tribe cannot be painted with one man's experience.
Talking about today, what are your thoughts on this very naughty debate?
Well, I'll begin by contextualizing Ruben's observations. Then I'll touch on T.O.S. Benson himself, some other statements and activities associated with him in connection with land. Then I'll raise core issues about why it is not always easy to get land in some areas, and what those of us who are actually from the Southeast, the challenge we have among ourselves about land, beginning with Ruben. Yes, like you said, he started by pointing out some good things about the people from that part of the country. Then he made a reference to the comments of T.O.S. Benson. Ruben was not speaking as Ruben Abati. It was reported speech. In other words, he was telling us what he heard. That's number one. Number two, there's then the perception, okay, if a man as Benson would say this, there's also the possibility that this is factually correct. But that's if what Benson said. You've said he's not a flippant person. That is correct. But what if in that instance, actually, the statement is not correct? And I asked that question knowing for a fact T.O.S. Benson's in-laws are Mbiri people. That's the place of the former Minister of Education, Obaji, the husband, Sam. We spoke about some of these things. He is their in-law. He was their in-law. Now, when I marry your daughter and I come to you for land, should you look at me as a possible source of income, or should you consider the fact that my daughter is in your custody? In fact, rather than sell land to you, I'll give one to you. The closer my daughter is, the easier it is for me to be sure she's being well taken care of. So for the record and for all of us, Mbiri people gave land, donated land to Chief Benson at Mbiri, which he used, in fact, at his own discretion to construct a post office for the people. And the structure is still there. So recontextualization, Reuben did not set out to misinform anybody by the statement he made, but he was correctly quoting Chief Benson. Now, so let us also get it to that point. And then when the altercation, if you like that expression, between him and his colleague, brilliant presenter, the young lady, remember he said, in a bit of anger, which was a little too heated, that if others, apparently he has some other sources, and if others have, let them present anthropological evidence. Now, the point there is this. You can carry out a research on the behavior of Gwagwalada people. That research will require field work. The result you get will depend on whom you interviewed. And if later I read that work, I'll say, oh, Gwagwalada people have these qualities. And I make this with, I recall that 2019, yes, I was in charge of Tambuwal's campaign for president, and some people came and presented in poll results with 58% showing that Nigerians wanted him to be president. I told him, Your Excellency, this is a non-starter. He said, how? Delegate elections is not a popular election. So you carry out a poll among people in the street, everyone knows who they are, and you come to say, which Nigerians? So you get the point that even where you have anthropological evidence of this sort, secured through polls and research and questionnaires, it doesn't guarantee anything. Why I take this trajectory is for us not to. There's what you call reported speech. In interpretative writing, when I make a statement and you say, okay, Ikechukwu said, you're conveying what I said. If I now say, okay, Ikechukwu said, and I agree, I'm endorsing, I'm taking ownership. So having contextualized it from the origin of the expression itself, that it was a narrated story, I've also presented counterfactual that the man actually has land donated to him. I will add that the former director of works at the Federal University of Technology in Owerri has land in Owerri that he bought. That's where he lives. He's a farmer today. If you go to Owerri, you have the Rotibi Street off Douglas Road. That street is named after a Yoruba man who back then bought practically the entire area. He was a great entrepreneur. Those the Igbo people who own lands in those areas bought it from him. Then, of course, you recall that Umoru Atine Alaji was a mayor of Enugu sometime in the 60s, or was it 50s now? He was also in charge of land allocation. Igbos didn't meet and selling, don't sell to outsiders. If you go to Enugu today, the one area, Garki area, people from all over the country have land there. So I think even for me personally, when I watched the controversy, I said, thank you, Reuben, because this has thrown up a matter on which there should be national discourse. More people will gain information, and will all be the better for it. That's the essential point. The second one is about land generally. You don't have too many people who are not Easterners who have land. And the question is, why is it that people have land elsewhere? Because there's business elsewhere. Tell me, what federal establishments do you have in Enugu, in all over the Southeast, that will make me leave my place in Yoruba land to come and buy land? Is it to be a villager? So we must also see the connection between national infrastructure, national institutions, national political headquarters, etc. The limited absence of that in the Southeast makes the land there totally unattractive for anybody to procure. Why are Igbos buying up lands in Lagos? Because they need it. And I speak from some involvement in what's going on at that in the area of business. Little Road used to be made up of a couple of tiny bungalows. The same with Enowa Street. Go to Inowa today, there's no building there that's less than 2-story buildings. Check the history, you'll find out that it was the traders who went to negotiate with most of the people. Allow me build a 2-story building here. I will use it for warehousing. You live in part of it. After 10 years, it becomes yours, and I begin to rent. And I speak because I know those who did that, some of them who were direct relations. That's how most of those places got built up. You may also recall that Ndubisi Kanu, an Igbo man at a point he was governor, actually met with the people, called them to a meeting and said, stop selling land. Do leases. Make this arrangement. That's when this alternative thing came up. Now, an Igbo man will not go to Newe and build a 2-story building to store his things because there's no port near him. He will be throwing his money away. So all of that, you can take it into account. Why will I leave Kanu to come and buy land in Imo State or in Anambra State? Am I on drugs? There is nothing going on in those places. So the political economy of the Nigerian state is also partly responsible for the things we are blaming on other things. Now, putting all of that aside even, let's pretend all of this doesn't exist. National infrastructure. The rail system of any nation is at the arteries of that country. Do you have rail in Nigeria? Yes. Do you have it in the southeast? No. Did you used to have it in the southeast? Yes. How did some of us know places like Saminaka, Kajuru, Lafia, etc.? It was because we traveled by road. You don't have that anymore. And so, putting that aside as well, let's come to the issue of land. You say, oh, you know, land holding system. No, I'm not going to talk about land holding system, but I'm going to talk about personal experience. The southeast is land choked. The land is not available. You go to most places in the southeast, you find that people bury in their compounds. My parents are no more. One of my sisters is no more. They are buried in the old family compound. My cousin Ide has a section of his land he uses for that. So there are other things to be understood. First, the land is not available. Where is available and you want to buy it, you buy. Go to Onitsha. Onitsha Business School is owned by Shogbeson. Professor Shogbeson is a Yoruba man. He started it in 2010. So it's not like saying, oh, it's only in the 60s, you know. These days, they are not doing it. Today, it is thriving as one of the best business schools, working with the people. Last week, I went there to give the keynote address on innovative entrepreneurship for under 45s. Most of those who came were the people in the environment. You wouldn't know he doesn't belong there. So, in essence, taking it, in that trajectory, what has emerged is a perception that was fueled or is being fueled by people who talk about it. Ruben diligently acknowledged the virtues of the Igbos he knew. Put a however based on a story by Chief Benson. Looking back at it, I don't know whether Chief Benson meant it in jest, but the fact that he has land actually donated to him by Mbiri people, who are now, right now, in fact, I understand, very, very angry about all of this, that they are being misrepresented, where he went out of his way to build them a post office on that land, etc. And also the cultural practice.
But Prof.
That your in-law wants land near you.
Prof, sir, if I may cut in.
Hello, my brother. Good morning. How are you? How is everything? How is Ghana? How's everything going in Ghana? My brother, I want to say something. You see, this our chiefs in Ghana, they are not serious. Our chiefs in Ghana, they are not serious. The Nigerians have their own plans. You understand what I mean? Because the Nigerians are seeing Ghanaians as people who don't like problem, but they don't know Ghanaians like problem more than them. But we look them as if some people who don't have sense because they feel they always think they are smart, but they are not. But the problem is our chiefs and the Ghanaians. How can Nigerians come to Ghana and set their kingdom in Ghana? How can Nigerians? Because any land have its own. In Ghana, any land has its own chiefs and kings. You understand? So I don't know why. And as you are saying, our radio stations, They don't talk about these things. All what they talk is NDC, MPP, NDC, MPP. You understand? How can Nigerians come to Ghana and have upper hand in Ghana? Because they are bribing that Nigerians. That is their strategy. Anything that you want, Nigerian man will give you so that you get upper hand on what he want. You understand? That is how they are. And then two, Nigerians, any place they go, they want to take the place as their own, and they know that it is not going to work. You understand? But our chiefs, our police, our politicians, and the Ghanaians is safe. We are just looking at them. I'm hungry about Nigeria. Me, I'm somebody that I don't like Nigerians. I don't like Nigerians, and I will never like Nigerians until I die. Because how can you like a fool? They are fools. Me, somebody like me, if I see Nigerian man dying, I'll rather take block and knock his head to die. The reason of telling you that Nigerian, if you do Nigerian good, he will come back and do you bad. I'll stay with them in traveling and all those things. That is how they are. You don't do Nigeria good because they are people that if you do them good, they see you as fool. But if you do them bad, they see you as good person. That means you are wise. That is the nature of Nigeria. You don't do Nigeria good. If you do Nigeria good, he see you as a fool. So the bottom line is you don't do good to Nigerian. If you do bad to Nigerian, he see you as you are wise. If you do good to Nigerian, he see you as a fool. That is how their brain has programmed in their country. You understand? Because one, they don't have good parents. Nigerians don't have good parents. All their parents are criminals. So if somebody is doing something, if one Nigeria is doing something to get money, their parents will encourage their children that what this guy is doing to get money, can't you do the same thing? Somebody will say, oh, not all Nigerians. If you go to school and they make exams and you get 10% out of 100%, that means you are down. But if you get 90 out of 100, that means you are up. You understand? So Nigerians, the majority, about 99%, their brain is to go to people's country, selling drugs, kidnapping, doing things that they're supposed not to do, but they are doing. And their parents, all what they know is if their children bring money in Nigeria, all what they do is, oh, God has blessed my son. God has blessed my son. So the only thing is they take them to church and they are happy. They do it. Which job did we have in Ghana? All these Nigerians, I always say, all these Nigerians who have money in Ghana, they did not bring money from Nigeria. In Ghana, there is no any job that you do to get money like that. They steal in Ghana, they kidnap in Ghana, and they get the money, and they use that money to bribe some politicians and some police people and some chiefs to give them. Look at Nigeria, they are having their kingdom in Ghana. Which type of nonsense is that? Did we have president in Ghana? We don't have president in Ghana. Did we have kings in Ghana? We don't have that. If you have kings in Ghana, how can somebody come on your land to do settings in your on your land? Who is Nigerians? Nigerians, they are nobody. All what they can do in the world is going to people's countries, spoiling the country, selling drugs, arm robbing, and all those things. So I wonder how if they catch Nigerian in Ghana, I always say, I wish I'm somebody that have a position in the court. Because if you steal, it's no need for you to go to court or all those things. If you steal, they have to kill you. That's all. Simple. If you go to Arab country, do see people using gun to steal. If you go to Arab country, you do see that there is not, because if you steal, it's not something that they will say, let's go to court. This. You steal, they kill you. That's all. Simple. That is why if you go to Arab countries, you will not see somebody holding gun going to bank to rob. How can you rob? How can you rob in Arab country? Because they use Moses law. They use Moses law. The Arab country, they use Moses law. Anything you do, they will do the same thing to you. But in Ghana, they will say court this, court that, court this, court that. No. That is one thing that I like about Arab countries. You kill somebody, they kill you. They catch you as an armed robber, they kill you. They don't have time to say, let's go to court, let's go to this, let's go to this. Because as long as the law lives that you kill, that is the law I always use, Moses law. Anything you do to me, I'll do the same thing to you. And maybe double. Because no matter how Arabs are, that's their law, I like their law. That Moses law. Not slap me here and I will turn here for you to slap me. No. I believe in Moses law. All this rubbish, if Nigerians do something in Ghana, then they take him to in Sawan prison. Why in Sawan prison? Look at what Nigeria said. Nigeria did not bring even one kobo in Ghana. All the money they have in Ghana is they kidnap people, robbing people to get money. And our police know, IGP know, everybody know. But all of them, they keep quiet. By the way, the day the Ghanaians will wake up, they will see. Our president know, everybody know. I even don't know. Let me end this thing here. Bye bye, my brother.